Hey, good morning to you. This morning we want to look at Acts 10, just the first 8 verses, the beginning of a story of, again, the Bible records things good and bad and unusual for us, and so we want to look at it and see. The last verse of chapter 9 says, "So it was that he stayed many days in Joppa with Simon, a tanner." And this is talking about Peter, who was following along, had done all these things, had just raised the young girl from the dead and said, "Don't say anything." So now he goes to Joppa. He's staying with Simon, a tanner. And it says there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of what was called the Italian regiment, a devout man and one who feared God with all his household, who gave alms generously to the people and prayed to God always. About the 9th hour of the day, he saw clearly in a vision an angel of God coming in and saying to him, "Cornelius." And when he observed him, he was afraid and said, "What is it, Lord?" So he said to him, "Your prayers and your alms have come up before a memorial before God. Now send men to Joppa and send for Simon, whose surname is Peter. He is lodging with Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the sea. He will tell you what you must do." And when the angel who spoke to him had departed, Cornelius called 2 of his household servants and a devout soldier from among those who waited on him continually. So when he had explained all these things to them, he sent them to Joppa. Now I want you to notice a couple things about this as we read the passage. First of all, Simon is there, Peter is there with Simon, a tanner. Kind of unusual, he's staying with a tanner because that would mean that this fellow had to handle dead bodies and skin, something to make a Jew unclean. But Simon, that's who he's staying with. And it tells us that this Cornelius was a centurion of what was called the Italian regiment. So he was a Roman soldier. He was over 100 men, a centurion, and so he was a powerful man, but it tells us he was a devout man who feared God with all his household. It sounds like God's willing to speak to people who were associated with the Romans, a part of a government, a part of a group that was opposed to Jesus, but a person who searched out for God, who prayed. You see, you can pray and you can do all those things and you can give generously to people, even though you may be a part of something different. He was seeking what was good. I believe we have people today who are seeking what is good. And so God speaks to him in a vision, sends an angel to him, calls his name. He asked, "What do you need?" And he said, "Well, your alms, your memorial has come up, what you've been doing and what you've been trying to do. Now send men to Joppa and send for Simon, whose surname is Peter. He's lodging with Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the sea." I want you to know that God knows where you are if you belong to him. He knew where Simon Peter was at, and so he knows where you and I are. And he expects Simon Peter to tell this Simon, this Cornelius, what to do. And so this devout soldier who is waiting on Cornelius hears what he needs to do. He explains it to them. Cornelius explains it to them and sends them on their way. I shared just this part with you. We stopped there because I want you to see that God's at work in the life of the lost who are seeking him, and I believe there are plenty of people around today who are seeking God. They may be serving other masters, they may be doing other things, they may be in places of power, but they are seeking God. I want you to know that God knows where you are right now, this moment, and he is sending someone your way who needs to hear about Jesus. Secondly, I believe that there are devout soldiers, there are friends who come alongside the lost and those who are seeking God. They are friends and they are devout and they are important. If you're that friend, let me tell you, friends are the ones who bring us to Jesus. A friend brought me to the revival I got saved at. So be that person who's going to bring someone to hear about Jesus, who is walking alongside, but be devout. So just share that with you today. Look for the opportunities to serve. Know that you're loved as always. Going to be a beautiful day, a day to be out and doing. Be careful. I know that it's going to be soggy. The roads are falling through. The gravel roads are probably going to be bad as far as being messy and slushy. So you be careful out there, but keep going on for Jesus. Have a great day and know that you're loved. God bless.